Hello students. In this video, let us start with comprehension of the lesson True Friendship. In the previous video, we learnt about the story of Damon and Pythias' true friendship. Now, let us try and answer the questions. C1. Answer the following questions. Question 1. Where did Damon and Pythias live? So these short answered questions, you will always find the answers in the lesson. So you can search through the lesson, or first you can try to recall the story and then come up with the answer before checking the solutions I give you. So the answer to the first one, where did Damon and Pythias live, is Damon and Pythias lived in the city of Syracuse. The second question is, who was the ruler of Syracuse? So what was the name of the king of Syracuse? Dionysius was the ruler of Syracuse. So Dionysius, he was the ruler of Syracuse. We learnt in our story that he was an evil-minded ruler. So he was the ruler of Syracuse. Why did the king want to punish Pythias? So we learned that the king wanted to punish Pithias, but do you remember why? What was the reason that the king wanted to punish Pithias? The king heard that Pithias had called him cruel and had said something against him. So he wanted to punish Pithias. This is the reason that the king wanted to punish Pithias. The next question is, what did Pithias wish to fulfill before he died? So what was his wish? We remember that there was something that Pythias wanted to do before he was punished to his death. So the answer is, Pythias wanted to meet his old mother and his sister before he died. He wanted to arrange for his sister's marriage and bid goodbye to his mother. So this was what he wanted to fulfill before he died. For our answers that are as long as this, you can take your time, pause the video and then replay it to move on to the next one. The fifth question is, what was the condition laid down by the king? So as we all know, Damon, he offered to take up Pythias' place until Pythias returned. To agree to this, what was the condition that the king proposed? The king fixed the day and hour of Pythias' return. If he did not return in time, Damon would have to die instead of Pythias. So this was the condition that the king proposed. Question 6. Why was Pythias delayed while returning? Answer. Pythias had to face many dangers as he was hurrying back to Syracuse, and so he was delayed. This is the reason why Pythias was delayed. The next question is, what did both the friends argue over? So observe here, whenever you're using the word argue, you can use it with over. What are you all arguing over? Okay, so over is naturally along with argue. Both Damon and Pythias wanted to take the punishment instead of their friend. So they argued over who took the punishment. So neither of them wanted the other to get punished. Instead, they wanted themselves to get punished. That is why they argued. So both Damon and Pythias wanted to take punishment instead of their friend. So they argued about who would take punishment. So here is a spelling mistake. It's punishment. The next question is, why did the king set both of them free? So by the end of the story, we know that the king decided to not punish either of them, instead to set both of them free. So why did the king decide to do that? The answer is, the king had never seen such a friendship. Both Damon and Pythias had kept their promises, and the king was happy to know that such friendship exists. So he set them both free. So because their friendship was so rare and they were both lovers of truth, the king decided to set both of them free. Now that is the answer for C1. Let us move on to C2. Discuss with your friends the following questions and answer each of them in 4 to 6 sentences. How do you know that Damon and Pythias were good friends? Give some examples from the story. So to answer this, you can pause the video and make some points from the lesson. First, try to recall them and note down the points. What are the indications that Damon and Pythias are good friends? Just note down the points and then go back through the lesson and find any missing points. Finally, you can try to form 4 to 6 sentences out of them. The answer I will give you is, Damon and Pythias were good friends who were both lovers of truth. When Pithias was about to be punished for his crimes, Damon offered to take his position so that Pythias can visit his family. Even when the king put forth the condition that Damon would be punished if Pythias does not return before the fixed day and hour, Damon did not hesitate to help his friend. You can form a different paragraph. When Pythias was delayed during his return to Syracuse, Damon did not lose faith in his friend. He also was ready to be punished in place of his friend. Damon and Pythias both argued because neither wanted their friend to be punished. Their good friendship resulted in both of them being freed by the king. Again, this is a long answer. You can take your time, pause the video and go through it sentence by sentence. So one easy way to recall long answer is a technique called as chunking. So let me just give you an example of this technique. It's called as chunking. Chunking is dividing any information you want to learn into smaller parts so that it's easier for you to recall them and understand them. For example, if I want you all to remember this number, it can be quite difficult for you. It's quite a long number. Instead, if you break it down into 2-digit numbers like this, it can be made easier for you. So it's easier to recall 32, 86, 13, 98 instead of this whole big number. Similarly, even in your lessons, instead of looking at it as one big question, divide it into smaller parts. These parts are called as chunks and they're easier for you to remember. Coming back to the question, let us go to the second one. What made the king change his decision at the end? The king was sure that Pythias had escaped breaking his promise. However, when Pythias returned, both the friends were ready to give up their lives for their friend. The king had never seen such a friendship. Both Damon and Pythias had kept their promises and the king was happy to know that such friendship exists. So, he set them both free. This is the answer for C2, question number 2. Next, language exercises. Discuss in pairs and fill the table with the things that you find in your house. One is done for you. For example, in the drawing room is also called as the hall or the living room. Most of the houses can have a veranda and then a hall, or they can just have a hall. Okay, so drawing room is that place where you sit to listen to the radio, read your newspaper, watch the television, etc. So what are the things that we can find in the drawing room are chair, table, and maybe you can also find carpets. So just to sit down and relax, we have the drawing room. You can add more things if you know what you find in the drawing room. Next we have the kitchen. We find stove, we find the gas cylinder, and we can also find the utensils. Utensils are the vessels. So the bowls, the big vessels, okay, all these come under utensils. Even the spoons, the forks, etc., they can be classified as utensils. In the bathroom, we need bucket to help us take bath. we also need mug. In the bedroom, we usually have a cot and we have a mattress. Mattress is the soft bed that you put on the cot. Then we also have the pillow like they have given. L2 is an activity that you have to do. Write about yourself in complete sentences. Write your name, your family's name, your date of birth, place of birth and your school's name. Finally, we have the speech sounds. A as in up. See that your teeth are kept well apart. So when you say a, your teeth should not touch each other. Say, get up early. Take a tub. Scrub yourself and a briskly rub. Mug of milk and buttered bun. Kiss your mother, off you run. I say mug, not moog. Do not say tube, but tub. In English, the U usually comes up with the A sound. Okay? Now, say these words aloud. Upon, punish, must, until, return, result. Okay, so these are the words from the lesson, and when you have the A sound mastered, it is easier for you to say these words aloud. Okay, students, that is the end of the exercise part of True Friendship. I will see you all in the next video.